Hello everyone, welcome to History Strategy session. My name is Guru. So in today's strategy session, we are going to discuss about why history is important for UPSC, how to read history for UPSC, and what are the best sources for UPSC. At the same time, what are the common mistakes done by the students. At the same time, how to overall comprehensively read history subject as a whole for UPSC preparation. Okay, so without further ado, we'll start with that is why history is important for UPSC. Okay, so first and foremost, we need to understand that is in GS paper 1, that is in prelims paper 1, that is we can see, so average prelims questions will be somewhere between 15 to 20 every year, but in 2022 it was fairly lesser, but on an average we can take somewhere between 15 to 20, and if we take on the upper band of the 20 questions, that will be nearly 40 marks. Out of 200 marks, 40 marks will come from history itself, and that shows how much importance it is there for history as a subject in prelims preparation. So that is nearly we can talk about out of 240 marks, that is we can talk about nearly 20% of the marks itself. So that is the reason. So reading history, all parts of history, that will come to which part of the history will be there for prelims, which part of the history will be there only for mains and everything. So history holds a very significant importance with respect to UPSC prelims preparation. Not just in prelims, even in mains also, at least 5 to 6 questions will be there, particularly in GS paper 1, general studies paper 1, that is 3 10 marker question will be there and 3 15 marker question will be there if there are 6 questions will be there. So overall we can say take around 75 marks. Out of 250, 75 marks comes from history itself. So that shows how much importance has been attached to history as a subject. Okay, so of course people have a lot of myths, that is history is fairly difficult, history is only factual oriented. So that kind of myth first we need to take out of our mind. So history is actually more interesting. History is actually, we can talk about, we can learn history from a conceptual understanding point of view. So what we need to focus on history is that one, that is we don't need to focus on where it happened and when it happened. Rather we should focus on why that particular event is happening. So we should focus on why that particular event is happening, because most of the events are interconnected. So one of the event is happening because of the previous event. So when we get the chronology in order, when we get the timeline correct, then where and when of that particular event becomes quite easy to remember. Of course, there is a lot of things to recollect. At the same time, we should focus on reproducing what we are going to read in history as a subject. So in this we are going to talk about what are the sources to read, okay, what are the advantages of history, and at the same time how to go through history as a subject, and at the same time what are the smart ways of reading history, and not just for history, it can be applied to any other subject also. Okay, already mentioned that history holds a very important aspect, very important position in particularly UPSC prelims preparation also, as well as in mains preparation also. Okay, now when we talk about history as a whole, it's quite vast. Okay, so history is quite really vast, and subdivisions of history we can see, that is there is ancient Indian history, medieval Indian history, then again modern Indian history, post independent, that is after 1947, and in between we also have art and culture, which is gaining a lot of traction. At the same time, most of the questions are coming from in mains as well as prelims from the art and culture point of view, and later we have world history also. So out of these, that is we have for prelims ancient, medieval, art and culture, and modern India is very important. Okay, so quite massive when it comes to prelims preparation. But in mains preparation we have to read post independence as well as world history. World history and post independence is only there for mains, but sometimes the questions from post independence have also come in prelims too. Okay, so in this strategy we are going to discuss about how to read ancient, medieval, art and culture as well as modern India. But with respect to post independence and world history, we are going to do a separate strategy session. But when the course starts, that is the ILP course starts, that is when we take up post independence and world history, that I will be talking about the separate preparation, how to do a separate preparation for post independence as well as world history. So in today's session we will focus on the sources for ancient, medieval, art and culture as modern India, and how to read properly, and how to do smart way of preparation. At the same time, what are the mistakes to be avoided while doing the preparation. Now where to start, that is the first question. Okay, so we are moving towards, that is where to start, sources, then again how to read, and at the same time what are the smart way of preparing and what are the mistakes to avoid. Now in where to start, first and foremost, as a UPSC aspirant, you should know the UPSC syllabus. That is very significant. So without knowing the syllabus, without knowing all the aspects which are mentioned in the syllabus, that a UPSC aspirant will be doing a very biggest mistake. So first and foremost, what you have to do is that is download UPSC syllabus copy and take a printout of it. See that nowadays the technology is there, we know that we can understand that one, we can store it in our smartphones, in our laptops and everything. Yes, that's a good way of do it, that's a good way, a great way, that is to just to have a glance at it. But first and foremost, what you have to do is download the syllabus copy, okay? Then wherever you read every day, whether it is library or it is your room itself only, so make sure that syllabus copy should be there in front of you. Okay, so at least go through it every day. That is not just for history, for all the subjects also particularly. So divide that syllabus copy, that is history part separate, okay, then again other subjects separate, okay. So make sure that you have that syllabus copy in front of you while reading that. At the same time, one more way of utilizing syllabus, or we can say create your own syllabus by going through previous history questions, both prelims as well as mains. So one is UPSC syllabus copy, that is there, but at the same time, not just the old syllabus copy, at the same time in the old syllabus, which topics are really important, okay, so that we can call them as high yield areas. That is, write down, or we can say cut, copy, paste all the previous mains questions as well as prelims question also, okay. That is, make sure that is history mains questions are in one PDF file, okay, or in Word document, or we can say all the prelims questions also there in one document. That is the first step what you have to do. So after taking, that is how many previous year questions we can take it, that is we can go for until 10 years, previous 10 years, or if it is better you can go until 15 years also, that is also fine. But the major shift has happened from 2010, 2011 onwards, so we can stick to the last decade, that from 2010 to 2011 to until 2022. So all the prelims question of history and all the mains question of history from last one decade, or you can say that is more than decade also, that is nearly 12 years of previous year, 12 years of every year, last 12 years the examination has been held. So at the same time we should know all the questions, prelims question also as well as mains question also. So after taking this, further refine that one, okay. So now go with the topic wise, or you can write down the topics where the questions have come from, okay. There is a separate PDF file, a separate Word file, or whichever you feel comfortable, because if it's a Word file you can keep on editing that one. So which are the topics, and now arrange these topics in ancient India, medieval India, art and culture as well as modern India, and of course some prelims questions will be there for post independence also, so separate that too. So write down all the topics, so list down all the topics and look at out of the syllabus where the most questions are coming from, which are the high yield areas where the most of the questions are coming from. This idea you should have it, this idea, that is, this is the first step even before you start preparing, even before you start reading the sources, okay. First you should write down all the topics, you should know where the which topics holding most important, which topics has been getting a lot of traction, lot of importance has been given to which topics, and write down all those topics, and at the same time make it in a chronological wise also, in a subdivisions of history also, ancient, medieval, modern as well as in post independence, particularly from the prelims point of view. And after writing down all those topics, and look at the syllabus and look at the questions, so where this out of the syllabus where the most of the topics are coming from, and these topics where IL topics, like I keep mentioning, so you should have more deeper understanding of these topics, and you should have much more wider understanding of these topics also, as well as deeper understanding. It does not mean you should neglect other aspects, other part of the syllabus, okay. You should give more importance to the high yield areas, at the same time equal importance to all other areas too, because what happens sometimes now, sometimes the pattern changes, UPSC keeps on changing the pattern, okay. So sometimes high yield areas might not come in the next year, okay, that is also there. At the same time some previously unknown areas, okay, which were given less importance, all of a sudden might become high yield area. So that is the reason, whatever the high yield areas which were there, whichever the most topics out of syllabus where the questions are coming from, make sure you go through them really well with a deeper understanding, and other topics at least you should have equal, at least you should give much more importance. You can't neglect those topics, you should keep on preparing really well for those topics also, okay. So that is, and lastly you see the pattern and look at the analysis, what kind of questions they are asking, what are the question tag they are using for that, okay. At the same time how the question has been framed, which question tag has been used, okay. So all these things that has to happen on your own, on your private time, that is you have to keep on. And at the same time, while we take up the courses, when classes starts, obviously we are going to analyze more with respect to that one. But before that one also, you should have a fair understanding of what type of questions are coming, where the questions are coming, okay, and particularly which part of history getting more importance, whether art and culture, whether ancient India, whether modern India, whether medieval India, okay, so whether in prelims also as well as in mains also. So that is the first aspect, that is the first thing you have to do even before you start reading the sources, okay. So now we are coming to sources. You know the syllabus copy right now. Now you also have the high yield areas topics, everything is in front of you. Now you get into the sources. Now sources, obviously there are wide variety of sources are there. History is again vast, and even the sources are also very vast, and particularly we will talk about ancient and medieval sources. So like I have mentioned here, there is R.S. Sharma old NCERT and Satish Chandra old NCERT for ancient and medieval. This R.S. Sharma for ancient history and this Satish Chandra for medieval history, okay. Either you can go through this one or you can go through Tamil Nadu board 11th class, okay. Either one of them, not both of them, okay, whichever you feel comfortable. Either R.S. Sharma old NCERT for ancient India, or Tamil Nadu board 11th for ancient India, or Satish Chandra old NCERT for medieval India, or Tamil Nadu board 11th for medieval India, because Tamil Nadu board 11th covers both ancient and medieval also, okay. These are important for those students who do not have history background, okay, because these are very basic textbooks. They are explained in a very simple manner. At the same time, they are in chronology, particularly Tamil Nadu board, they are given in chronological manner. So though these becomes very basic, at the same time very easy to understand, okay, that is one thing. And those who have better history understanding, those who are preparing for a while, those who add history as a subject in their bachelors, so they can go with Poonam Dalal Dayya for ancient and medieval history, okay. So don't go through all these of them, so choose whichever you feel comfortable. But presently, those who do not have history background, please go through either Tamil Nadu board, R.S. Sharma or NCERT, okay. So choose one, that is whichever you feel comfortable. And those who have good history understanding, they can go through Poonam Dalal Dayya, okay. But after while reading R.S. Sharma as well as Satish Chandra or Tamil Nadu board NCERT, if you feel like you need more, any other student, that is they can value add through Poonam Dalal Dayya. But as of now, we don't recommend going to that one, particularly those students who do not have history background. So stick to this only. But if you feel like if you need more understanding, then only you can go through that one. Presently, you can just stick to one and read the same book again and again, okay. That is not like the how many sources we have. It is about how to utilize the existing sources you have, okay. So you have to read again and again. Every time you read, it give you different perspective. It can give you different understanding. It can give you a lot more meaning to the subject you already been reading to, okay. That is the source for ancient and medieval India, okay. And for art and culture, that is it's 11th NCERT is there, that is called as Fine Arts NCERT. That is very, very important, okay. You read that textbook completely, and again you go with the major textbook for art and culture, that is Nitin Singhania. And Nitin Singhania is very bulky. You don't have to go through each and everything that is there in Nitin Singhania, but rather what you have to focus on Nitin Singhania is that one, the fundamental chapters and the basic chapters, that is basic concept about the basic art and culture. That is basic chapters. We can talk about architecture part in Nitin Singhania, music and dance in Nitin Singhania, then philosophies and painting chapters in Nitin Singhania, okay. So other than that, you don't have to go through anything else with respect to art and culture. But art and culture understanding is very less, but what is important is that one, that is what is more is there, that is morely factual aspect. It becomes slightly difficult to remember all those kind of facts, but if you keep on revising, if you link that facts to any other concepts which you have read, then it becomes really easy, okay. So for that, what you can do is that one, that is practice diagrams in art and culture, okay. So that is dances, at the same time architecture, the Dravida style, Nagara style, Vesara style, okay. So start practicing little bit diagrams on your own, okay. So that is also creative way of doing the subject. And because art and culture is getting a lot of importance, particularly in mains also as well as in prelims also, so you should have very good understanding. At the same time, you study art and culture with more passion, okay. So when the passion is there, that is you don't look for external motivation, or because when passion is there, there will be a lot of internal motivation. That is that internal motivation should guide you to learn the subject in a very innovative manner. And the one innovative manner is, that is whenever you read a concept, okay, so try to do some kind of mind maps or do some kind of practice diagrams with respect to that particular topic, and your understanding becomes very deeper. At the same time, there is a less chances you are going to forget that. That is more chances that you will definitely, that topic will be there in your mind for a very, very long period of time. At the same time, visualization, watch some videos with respect to the art and culture topics, okay, watch some documentaries, okay, that is one way of doing, okay, that is the, we can talk about the best form of reading is that one, always visualizing that one, that is having that picturesque viewpoint. At the same time, that's it gives you different perspectives, okay. So watching documentaries on this Indian architecture, music, dances, philosophies and painting, and that will give you more we can say interesting way to learn the art and culture topic. So that is ancient and medieval sources are complete. Now the art and culture, little bit dynamic, okay, that dynamic one way of making that art and culture so easy is that one, first read and then again watch little bit videos or diagrams, okay, practice diagrams, watch some pictures, okay. So learn through in pictures manner, okay, that would be the best way to read art and culture. And then we'll come to modern history. It's fairly simple, okay, and for modern history only two sources are necessary, that is Spectrum textbook, that is the latest version of the Spectrum, and then again Bipin Chandra. So Spectrum is good for prelims perspective, Bipin Chandra is very good for understanding analysis, more analysis has been given, so that would be more than enough. You don't have to go beyond Spectrum and Bipin Chandra, okay, stick to that one. And with respect to post-independence and world history, I will take as a separate strategy session. So in this strategy session, we are talking about ancient history, medieval history, art and culture, as well as modern India, and how to read. We talked about where to start, that is starting with the syllabus topics, how to make, how to analyze the syllabus, I told you, and at the same time how to create your own syllabus while looking at the previous year question papers, as well as making separate topics out of that questions. At the same time, focusing on the high yield areas. Then sources are complete, okay. Now you have the sources, now how to read these sources, okay. The first and foremost, one important thing you have to do out of the source is that one, create your own notes. You have to create your own short notes, not like writing down each and everything that is there in art and culture textbooks or in medieval Indian textbooks or ancient history as well as in modern history. Don't write each and everything. So make short notes, okay. How to make the short notes? There is also an art, there is a skill. You will again in the initial part it becomes slightly difficult, okay. So you can't perfect every skill in the beginning itself only. So as you keep on making notes, you will only refine your notes, okay. Trust your ability. First and foremost, while reading, underline the words. That is, while reading, underline in the sense that one, no need to underline each and every line you have been reading, okay. So underline those words which holds importance to understand a particular sentence as well as the entire paragraph, and that we call it as keywords. Underline the keywords. On the margins you can just write down those keywords. That is one way of reading. And the second way is that one, that is after making those keywords, then make a separate short notes also, okay. So either you can follow both the methods. First you can do the keywords aspect, then after reading the concept, okay, after reading the concept, when you have better understanding of the topics, okay, so when you have read couple of times, okay, maybe 3 or 4 times, when you know all the keywords, and all those keywords should be written down in a separate notes, okay. So either you can stick to the keywords what you have written if you are really confident about your ability, but what I recommend is that one, that is having the short notes is very, very important. First prepare the keywords and underline those, and when after reading 2 to 3 times, then make the separate short notes out of it, and that would make your preparation real. Because when you're making short notes, make sure that you don't look at the textbook, but you should have the fair understanding of the keywords and make those keywords, keep on writing those keywords, okay. So that will help you in recollection, and you are reproducing it, recollecting purposes from the prelims point of view and reproducing from the perspective of mains, okay. So that is an effective revision tactics, at the same time an effective notes making also. That notes making should be an important aspect of your preparation. First prepare the keywords and reproduce those keywords, okay, that is important. And again, make sure you have deeper understanding, as I already mentioned, deeper understanding of high yield areas, like you have focus, look at in prelims question paper, okay, look at mains question paper, where the questions are getting repeated, okay. And of course in the ILP program, that is when we make videos, I am going to discuss all the PYQs as well as from the mains perspective as well as from the prelims perspective. So before that only, so we want you people to have that analytical ability, because analysis is what ultimately holds key in answer writing. Analysis is what ultimately help you to clear prelims as well as mains too. So you should inculcate that critical mentality, okay. So you only analyze which are the high yield areas, okay. So when we mention that while taking the classes, you feel confident that you already done the analysis, and now that it gives you more confidence to go through your to make your preparation even better also. And at the same time, improving your weak area, that is also very important. Okay, so it is not like forgetting the weaker areas, because weaker areas will definitely be there in every subject. For some people, one entire subject is weaker. Let's say, for example, for a person who has come from humanities background, feel little bit difficulties in science and technology, and a person who has come from science background will feel little bit difficulty in history. But within history only, some people will find more interesting with respect to modern history. Okay, some people will find more interesting in ancient history, art and culture, as well as in medieval history. So recognize your strengths and weaknesses. So make sure your strengths should remain as strength. Okay, don't be complacent in your strength areas. At the same time, in your weaker areas, you should try to improve. If not 100%, at least try to make an effort to improve, let's say 20%, 30%, 40%, 50%, because something is better than nothing. Okay, as strength will remain as a strength, that is one thing. At the same time, you are improving your weakness areas also. Write down your strengths and weaknesses, okay, and then focus on the weakness areas and try to improve those weakness areas too. Okay, so that is ultimately left to you people. That is, you have to improve your weakness areas. Without that one, it becomes highly difficult to clear prelims as well as mains too. Okay, so again, you should have holistic preparation as well as comprehensive preparation. Leave nothing. You should not leave any topic, either in ancient or medieval or art and culture, as well as in modern India, but deeper understanding of high yield areas. High yield areas should be there, but you should cover all the areas, cover all the topics, but at the same time, deeper understanding as well as wider understanding of high yield areas. And then again, another way of smart reading. We talked about where to start from the syllabus copy itself, analysis of previous year question papers, sources are very much clear. Okay, so how to read. At the center, now we are coming into the smart way of reading. First and foremost, keep previous year questions in front of you while reading that one, because I told you, first look at the syllabus, create your own syllabus by looking at the previous year prelims questions as well as the previous year mains questions, and arrange those questions into topic wise. Okay, then while you take up the topic to read and keep those questions in front of you, look at how the questions has been formed with respect to the topic, whether that has been given more importance in prelims, whether a topic has been given more importance in mains. Very few people will do this kind of methodical preparation, organized way of preparation. Okay, so that is quite significant, especially when you are preparing for a competitive examination like UPSC, where competition is cutthroat. You have to stay ahead of others and you have to do something different that others are not doing. Okay, because if you keep on doing the same thing others are doing, you can't expect different results. If you want different results, you have to do something differently, and something differently means not completely unrelated to the examination point of view, but with respect to examination point of view, that is, you have to do some really smart way of preparation. There is one way of smart preparation, is that one, keep the syllabus copy in front of you. Okay, keep the topics, segregated topics in front of you. While reading the topic, make sure you keep on read the topic with respect while keeping in front of those questions. Okay, and then again, after reading this particular topic, you have to attempt tests, you have to give tests to evaluate yourself. You have to evaluate yourself. How to evaluate yourself? How do you examine yourself? Before getting into the actual examination, you should have already examined yourself. How do you take prelims tests with respect to, that is objective tests. At the same time, you have to take a subjective test, that is a write-in test on that one particular topic, and you should know whether the topic is there in prelims, whether the topic is there in mains. There will be some topics which will be overlapping for prelims as well as mains too, but there will be certain topics which will only important from the prelims perspective, and there are certain topics which are only important from the mains perspective. Okay, so you should know which areas to focus, which areas to not to focus, and give tests, write tests every week. Okay, so that is an essential aspect. Okay, so you have to evaluate yourself before finally you get evaluated by the UPSC examination. Okay, so must give the test, that is both objective, that is from the prelims perspective, as well as the subjective. And how do you evaluate yourself? By giving tests, that is one thing, and peer evaluation, that is one thing. Share with your friends. Okay, have that healthy competition, that is whatever the ideas you got, share with others and borrow ideas from your friends too. Okay, so that you should have that healthy competition as well as a spirit of taking criticism really well. Your friend might say that is what you have written might be correct, might not be correct. Okay, so take it sportively, improve upon it. Keep asking yourself how you can further improve that one. Okay, ask your friends. Okay, so how to further improve. Have good mentors. Okay, so have contacts with the teachers also, with your faculties, and that is quite important. Keep on evaluating yourself. Even the trivial dates, small doubts you come across. So you should clear those doubts before getting into the next step. Okay, that is one thing. And lastly, write down your strengths and weaknesses, like I already mentioned. Okay, so while after evaluating yourself, where you are lagging behind, write down. Okay, so where you are really have a good understanding, write down. And also write down why you have really good understanding, why the topic is strength for you, what is the reason the topic is strength for you. And at the same time, write down why the topic is really weakness for you, why you can't able to go through, or why you can't able to better understand one particular topic. When you write down that why, okay, when you write down, put it down on a paper, that is, you start to evaluate yourself. At the same time, you try to making an effort to analyze it, and when you know the reason for the strength and weaknesses, and when you know the reason for weaknesses, you will try to overcome those reasons. When you know what the problem is, then you can definitely look for a solution. Please write down strengths and weaknesses. That is one thing. Okay, so then again, what are the value addition reading you can do? That one, that is one more way of better reading. It's all about come down to the quality preparation. That quality preparation should happen. That is, examine resemblances between topics and subjects. Sometimes history can be read with, we can comparison to topics like ancient India can be linked with medieval India, medieval India can be linked with modern India, and within the ancient history only we can interlink topic like early Vedic age and later Vedic age. Okay, administration of Guptas, the administration of the Mauryas, it can be interrelated. Okay, so when it comes to modern history, that is, we can see there is a lot of resemblances, lot of comparison will be there from world history to modern history, like what most of the world historical events influence Indian history. Okay, so which event of world history influence Indian history? So all these kind of resemblances between topics, that is, interlink and read also. While reading a topic, try to interlink subjects. History can be interlinked with polity, especially when you read about constitutional development, when you read about the regulation of the East India Company. While reading in history, that is Charter Act, Government of India Act, you can link with polity. At the same time, when you are talking about places, some historical places will come that you can link with environment, that you can link with geography. Okay, so all these kind of questions have been asked. So interlink and read the topics. That is very important, and that should happen in your own mind only. That when we talk about in classes, especially we will talk about, we will going to give you ideas about how the subjects are interlinked, how the topics are interlinked. At the same time, when you start doing on your own, that's where your confidence increases. Okay, and art and culture, it's quite important. I keep emphasizing that one. It taught separately. I will teach art and culture separately. Okay, so first we will talk about the ancient history, medieval history, then we will talk about the art and culture separately. But while reading, you should, while reading ancient history topics like Indus Valley civilization, and you should read art and culture of Indus Valley civilization along with that one only. Classes are separate. Okay, so that we, for understanding purposes. After understanding gets over, while reading that, you have to interrelate those things. Okay, so read simultaneously, write together art and culture, taught separately, but read together with ancient and medieval history, because architecture is there. Temple architecture begins from the time of Guptas. Okay, Guptas we will teach as a separate, as a Gupta's political system, social system, religious system. Okay, and then again Gupta's time temple architecture, that is taught separately. But while reading Guptas, obviously you have to take and link that one. Okay, so read simultaneously, because whatever the changes that was happening in political structure, social structure, economic structure, religious structure will influence the architecture, will influence the art and culture of that one particular point of time. Okay, so that is one thing you have to do. That is, most of the people do the separation is that one, that is read separately. Don't, yes, understanding the topic separately is quite important, but while reading you have to read together. That is one thing. And some of the common mistakes to avoid, especially in competitive field like UPSC, is first and foremost is that one, leaving the difficult topics as well as not completing the entire syllabus. That is, you should not leave any topic. Okay, so make an effort, that is, make a complete effort to not to leave any topic. Okay, you have to read the each and every topic, but yield areas deeper understanding, and then again revision. Okay, the only way you can consolidate what all you have already read. That is with respect to look at the sources I have just mentioned, Spectrum, Bipin Chandra, then again Tamil Nadu NCERTs, then again we can talk about the Nitin Singhania textbook. You will be reading very extensively, but to retain those, you have to keep on revising. How do you revise that one? Either daily revision or weekly revision, and most of the time weekly revision fails. So stick to the daily revision. So make a separate time for revision every day. You have to revise, because there is no alternative for that one, because you will be reading so many facts. So many facts means that you can't even imagine. Okay, so every sentence, every word might be a fact sometimes. Okay, so you have to remember all those kind of things. That is the only way you can do is that one, revision. Your mind has the capacity to remember all those kind of facts while you keep on revising. Okay, so revision should be a very, very essential aspect of your preparation. And third one, jumping from one source to another. So whatever sources I have mentioned, just stick to those sources. Do not go beyond that one. Read the same source again and again and again and again and again. Like I already mentioned, it will give a different perspective, it will give a different understanding, and you will only making a lot of interconnection, interlinkages happening when you start reading when you keep on revising, when you kept on reading the same textbooks again and again. So all these things are interconnected. Okay, all these things are interconnected. That keeps on happening in your mind itself. Okay, do not jump from one source to another source because one person is doing other than what you have been reading, because there is a lot of chattering, there is a lot of rumors that is this source is better, that source is better. No, trust the source, trust the classes. Okay, trust the faculties who not just for history, for every subject also, whatever sources they mention. So please stick to those sources. So keep on revising those sources as many times as possible. And then again, discipline and routine. Okay, so do not do preparation in an haphazard manner. Okay, do not do in a very haphazard manner. You should stick to a routine. You should have discipline. Okay, so make sure, plan your day. Okay, you have to plan your day, what you are going to do. If you are a working professional, your routine is already fixed, and the rest of the time where you are giving time for UPSC preparation, and that routine should also be properly planned, and that is where time management will come in. Okay, so you have to write down at what point of day, at what point of time in a day, what you are going to do. So plan tomorrow, today itself only. Before going to bed, just write down at this particular point of time you are going to that one. And science proves that one, that is most of the time you will definitely going to stick to that timetable. When you keep on doing that over a period of time, okay, like 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, okay, so you get adjusted to that body clock, and that definitely going to help you. That is like I keep repeating always whenever I talk about this kind of strategies, that is an idiot with a plan can beat a genius without a plan. That is said by a great investor, Warren Buffett. So please stick to that one, plan your day. So always stick to that plan. Okay, of course there will be some kind of emergencies will be there, but most of the time, 95 to 99% of the time, you are definitely going to stick that one particular point of time, that routine and discipline. So keep doing that one. The discipline and commitment and hard work will take you to greater heights than inconsistencies, as well as doing in an haphazard manner. And lastly, deep focus. So this modern age with social media and our smartphones and everything, we have a lot of distractions. They say that is notifications are like a torpedoes aiming at submarines. So keep your notifications off while reading. Make sure that you should not have any kind of disturbances. Okay, so keep reading in a very focused manner. That is called deep focused manner. Okay, yes, you can give separate time for your social media and all these kind of things, but while reading you should not have any kind of interactions. So any kind of we can say distraction, not interaction, rather distraction. Of course interaction should also be not there while you are reading that one. After reading, yes, you can have interactions, but read in a very secluded manner. Okay, so either in library or in your room. So make sure you put that do not disturb board. Okay, so others should understand what you have been doing. So read in a very focused manner. That is, if you read in a focused manner for 2 hours, even after 2.5 hours, a person will read in a very distracting manner for 8 hours or 9 hours, and your 2 hours is definitely going to beat the other person who has done distracted preparation for 8 hours or something like that. So always stick to defocus method. So these are the some common mistakes to avoid, and some of the advantages of history is that one last one, that is sources are same for both prelims as well as mains too. There is not much differences are there, unlike other subject. So prelims will have separate sources and mains we have to go through other sources, but for history same thing. That is prelims also same source and mains also same sources. And lastly, this subject do not change much, it will stay there, but current affairs will be there. Some topics will be in news, some historical events will be in news. Okay, like last year we talked about Arvind Ghosh, that is 150 years celebration. Okay, so Ramanujacharya. Okay, so one question was also asked in prelims. Okay, that is Ramanujacharya statue was unveiled. Okay, so all this kind of some historical events, historical personalities will be in news. So make sure you have more understanding of those topics. So hopefully you got it very much clear. That is, you know where to start. Start from syllabus topics. Make sure create your own syllabus. Then make sure the sources are really good. Okay, so stick to the same sources. Do not jump from one source to another source. And then again, how to read, how to underline. Also, I have told you, that is how to first make the keywords, and again the keywords should be reproduced in a separate short notes. So because short notes will help you to revise very faster. Okay, if you go to the textbooks to revise again, it is going to take more than 1 hour or 2 hours or so. So but when you have short notes, you can do it within 15 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour, something like that. Then again, how to smart way of doing, that is make sure they segregate the previous year question papers on the topic wise, mains topics separately as well as prelims topics separately while reading. So make sure you have that questions in front of you. Look at how the questions are being formed, look at where the questions are coming from, and deeper understanding of the yield areas, and should not leave any other topic. You should cover each and every topic too. Okay, so and improve your weaknesses, and that is an essential aspect of aiming towards the success. That is, write down strengths, write down weaknesses, keep on analyzing yourself, keep taking tests, that is very important, and evaluate those tests too. At the same time, I will be interacting with people. Okay, so as the classes starts, okay, so we'll find a way to interact with each other. So this is it for the entire history strategy. But again, for post independence and world history, I will give you the sources as well as how to read and everything as the classes progresses in future. Finally, thank you so much. We'll see you in the first session, that is the orientation session, and then again we will move towards the actual topics. Thank you so much.